The boy's running through the forest, clothes torn up, looking desperate, as if he's fleeing from something dangerous. His face shows raw anger and determination, but his eyes suddenly widen. He's spotted something ahead. He drops to the ground, fists clenched, cursing his situation. The frustration in his voice says it all. From above, we see him cornered. Two figures appear, blocking his way, making it clear he's got nowhere left to run. Yeo-Woon realizes the truth. He's been surrounded by these guys from the very beginning. He curses under his breath, frustration boiling over as he faces the setup. The assassins taunt him, mocking how hard he ran just to fall right into their hands. They laugh it off, saying they almost got bored waiting for him to show up. Yeo-Woon panics. He knows he's outnumbered and way too exhausted to run or fight back. He's furious, shouting at them. He gave up his spot at the academy, so why are they still after his life? The masked assassin coldly explains that giving up the academy or lacking talent doesn't matter. He's still Prince Cheon. They raise their blades, telling him that as long as he has royal blood and a claim to the throne, there's no escaping. The assassin spits venom, mocking him for having peasant blood, promising him a painless death because of his lineage. His eyes widen, rage boiling. How dare they insult his mother like that? He grips his weapon tight, fire in his heart. If death is waiting, he'll face it head-on, fighting with every last breath. One of the assassins narrows his eyes, asking if he secretly learned martial arts from warrior Jang. He sees the stance, clearly untrained. But even so, that bloodline won't let him run from this fight. The assassin smirks. No skill, no training, yet still refusing to back down. To him, this isn't execution, it's going to be sport. The assassins leap from the trees, blades drawn. The order is clear: kill him. He roars and swings wildly, slashing back with every ounce of desperation. One assassin lunges, but he blocks, teeth clenched, pushing through the pain just to stay alive. He gets slammed, caught off guard, and lifted up like he's nothing. The assassin mocks him, asking if that weak retaliation was all he had. But secretly, he grips his blade, readying a counter. Another assassin notices the danger too late, shouting for his comrade to watch out. The assassin is shocked. He didn't expect to be stabbed by the boy he thought was weak. The masked killers freeze, eyes wide, realizing something's gone horribly wrong. Yeo-Woon drops to the ground, panting, blood on his hands, but with a crazed grin. He actually pulled it off. The assassins are stunned. One of them mutters in disbelief. How did a kid with no martial arts training kill one of their men? Were all those sloppy attacks just bait to make them drop their guard? The assassins are stunned. Even in this desperate situation, the prince managed to pull off such a clever move. One of them grips his sword tightly, realizing if this kid had actually mastered martial arts, things would have been terrifying. Fueled with rage, an assassin charges forward, screaming that he'll end the brat himself. With a brutal slash, the assassin cuts down the prince, sending him crashing into the ground, blood spraying from the impact. The prince lies on the ground, coughing blood, barely clinging to life. One assassin glares at him furiously, insulted that a weakling dared to resist. The assassin raises his blade high, ready to finish him off. A blood-curdling scream echoes under the moonlit sky, slicing through the night. He lets out a painful cry, blood dripping from his mouth as his body trembles. One of the assassins mocks him, twisting the blade deeper and asking how it feels to have a hole in his stomach. His scream echoes out in pure agony. Clenching his hand against the ground, he thinks to himself, there's no fooling them twice. But despite it all, he finds some grim satisfaction. At least he managed to take one of them down. The assassin twists the blade slowly inside his stomach, making the pain unbearable. He mocks him, telling him to die a slow, excruciating death. The prince collapses to the ground, his body broken and bleeding, while the assassin stands over him, sword dripping. One of the masked killers thinks to himself, this kind of cruelty isn't normally his style, but since their comrade died, he convinces himself there's no other choice. Out of nowhere, a blinding golden light bursts through the darkness. The assassins freeze in shock, their eyes wide. Something terrifying just activated. In the next instant, an explosive force tears through one of them, ripping him apart while the others stagger back. The scene turns into chaos, and the half-dead prince is at the center of it all. The assassins are frozen, shocked by the mysterious beam of light that just obliterated one of their comrades. They can't process what just happened. Suddenly, a glowing sneaker slams down with energy crackling around it. Someone unexpected just arrived on the scene. The assassins' eyes widen in disbelief. One of them snaps out of it, panic in his voice as he shouts. He's behind them. Whoever this newcomer is, he's moving faster than they can even track. The assassins freeze in shock as they see a figure glowing with blue energy appear before them. It's him, standing confidently, electricity crackling around his body, wearing strange modern clothes that don't belong in this world. One of the assassins stares in disbelief, sweating nervously, muttering that he's never seen clothing like that before. His hands glow with electric energy, steady and calm, like he's about to unleash something terrifying. One of the assassins rushes forward, demanding to know who he is, blade ready to strike. But the mysterious figure doesn't flinch. He just stands there, crackling with power, his lips curling into a confident smirk. A blinding golden light explodes, catching the assassin completely off guard. He stares in shock, blood splattering. He can't process what just happened. Suddenly, the mysterious figure vanishes in an instant. The assassins panic, trying to figure it out. One realizes this isn't just speed. It's like he's turning invisible, flowing like water itself. One assassin gets shredded by that blinding strike, leaving the others frozen in shock. They scream out in panic, realizing their comrade just got taken out in an instant. Fear spreads. That light, they don't know what it is, but it's tearing through them with godlike speed. One of them starts doubting his own eyes. Could this be the power of a true master who's reached the peak of martial cultivation? But the real question burns in his mind. Why would such an extraordinary powerhouse protect that boy of all people? Despite the fear, another assassin grips his blade tight, ready to clash with this unknown monster. The prince collapses to the ground, blood soaking his torn robes. His body trembles, but his will hasn't broken. Assassins thought, that kid already lost a lot of blood, so he's a lost cause anyway. Our mission has been fulfilled. One of the assassins shouts urgently while retreating at full speed, his cloak fluttering through the night. Let's retreat. The assassins leap into the dark forest, their figures fading under the moonlight. But suddenly, a glowing hand, charged with crackling blue lightning, stretches out from the shadows. High voltage, the mysterious power awakens. High voltage. A masked assassin is struck mid-air, blood exploding from his chest as his body is torn apart under the moonlit sky. His weapon slips from his hand, helplessly falling. The young prince, battered and on the ground, manages a faint, pained smile. He mutters, "Serves you all right," proud that at least one enemy has fallen. His eyelids grow heavy, vision blurring as exhaustion and blood loss overwhelm him. His eyes slowly begin to close, darkness creeping in. A mocking voice breaks through the silence. "Wow." It continues. "It looks like our ancestor is in a happy mood, even though he's at his deathbed." The words drip with eerie amusement, hinting at a strange presence watching over him. He hears "ancestor" and blinks hard. Who even said that? His vision goes static. A blurry figure stands over him as his body turns ice cold. He sways on his feet, thinking, this might really be it. Am I dying here? The guy in the hoodie checks his futuristic watch, realizing the enemies already noticed him. He sighs, no choice but to act now. He pulls out a sleek gadget glowing with blue light. He admits he wanted to explain it properly first, but now? Gotta improvise. Looking down at the dying boy on the ground, he says he better hurry, since death is literally seconds away. The mysterious guy injects something into the wounded boy's neck, pushing the syringe in with precision. He continues the injection into his stomach, muttering how even he feels weird doing this. With a confident smirk, he says he's done that. He leans down, calling the dying boy ancestor in a casual tone. Smiling, he asks him to succeed, so that this descendant's life can be a little easier. A figure crackling with energy towers above, speaking coldly. He explains the truth. The nano machine implanted is the latest version, easy to use if the prince can figure it out. With that, he leaves the challenge hanging. In a flash of light, the mysterious man disappears, vanishing as quickly as he arrived. The only thing left is the echo of his words and the storm of power swirling around. The battered prince lies on the ground, half-conscious and bleeding. He forces his eyes open, muttering in confusion. To him, the strange man's words sound like nonsense, talk of machines and versions completely beyond his world. Suddenly, a mechanical voice echoes in his head, listing out a serial number like some strange code. His eyes widen in panic. The voice continues, identifying itself as part of something called Sky Corporation. It declares the system inside him as the 7th generation nano machine, and then begins the activation process. The story starts way back when, explaining that fighters learn martial arts to protect themselves. Over time, martial arts evolved from self-defense to a way to kill enemies. It became more complex, and people started using internal energy. The narrator explains that these powerful fighters were called the Murim people, and they passed on their knowledge to new generations. And with that, the stage is set. The fighters started to gather together to form clans. The narrator says that the clans are now divided into the forces of justice and the forces of evil. But there's a third option. The narrator explains that another group, the demonic cult, only sought strength and existed between the tight balance of those two forces. We then get the official introduction of our protagonist. He's the illegitimate child of the highest-ranking family in the demonic cult who has the right to the throne. The narrator says, this is Cheon Yeo-Woon's story. We see Cheon Yeo-Woon wake up in a bed, looking dazed and confused, yelling, UGH. Cheon Yeo-Woon is waking up in a bed, asking, I'm alive? He's confused because he's pretty sure he was stabbed. He's sweating a lot, and he asks himself, what happened? Why is my whole body sweating? He then notices something on his hands, yelling, HUH? What are these black spots? It looks like something mysterious is going on with his body. Cheon Yeo-Woon is looking at his body, which is covered in black spots and blood. He's thinking, IT smells awful. My whole body is sticky. A voice from off-panel asks, are you awake, master? He's surprised by the voice, asking what? The voice then repeats, are you awake, master? He's now standing up and yelling at the voice, Who are you? Cheon Yeo-Woon is looking around, confused, thinking there isn't anyone around. The voice in his head tells him to please calm down, master. He then realizes this sounds like it's coming directly from my head. He then asks himself, in no way could it be coming from my head? The voice confirms it, saying, you are right, master. The voice in his head finally reveals its identity. I am Sky Corporation's 7th generation nano machine. The voice adds that it's there to connect and serve as a core, TO, support master's brain. Cheon Yeo-Woon is completely losing it, yelling, what? What are you talking about? Who are you and why are you doing this to me? But the nano machine is completely calm. The narrator explains that Cheon Yeo-Woon misheard the name of the machine as Evil God, but the machine just says, I am the 7th generation nano machine. Cheon Yeo-Woon's eyes are wide with fear as he thinks, is it talking about the evil god, the one that the demonic cult worships? He then gets on the ground and asks the nano machine directly, are you really the evil god? A new character, Dr. Beck, is then shown being led into the building. He's probably here to help with Cheon Yeo-Woon's injuries. The old man asks the guard, was it an assassination attempt? And the guard confirms it, saying yes. The guard is upset and says, although there have been many assassination attempts recently, I didn't think that you would send me directly there. The old man explains that it was the only thing they could do and that it was a miracle that Prince Cheon was able to make it out alive. The two assassins who ran away are now talking, with one saying, "I think someone helped Prince C. Cheon, but I can't tell who it was that helped him." The other asks if he can't guess based on the markings. We get a close-up on one of the assassin's eyes, and he looks terrified and is sweating. The narrator reveals the truth. The scene that I saw yesterday was terrible. The corpses were left without their upper bodies. Image 105. The guard is now looking at one of the dead assassins. He realizes that the dagger he gave Prince Cheon is stuck in his head. He then hears someone breathing and realizes it was Prince Cheon. We get a close-up of Prince Cheon on the ground, and the narration is a simple, but we're back with the old man, and he asks the guard, he had no wounds on his body. The guard confirms yes. The guard tells the old man that Prince Cheon's body was clean of any marks, even though his clothes were torn by a sword. The old man is confused, asking, who could have helped him? He's also wondering if the cult leader was involved. The old man's attitude completely changes. He's smiling now, saying, haha, this is getting interesting. He orders the guard to lead me to Prince Cheon's room. We see Prince Cheon, now fully awake, yelling at the voice in his head, "Were you the one who saved my life, God?" The voice responds, "If you were talking about putting Master's dying body into self-healing mode, then yes." Cheon Yeo-Woon is asking the Nano Machine about self-healing mode. The voice is trying to find the right words to explain everything to him. The voice in his head changes its tone, telling him, "Master, I am not the evil god that you speak of." Cheon Yeo-Woon is confused, and he's thinking, HUH? His tone changed. The Nano Machine then offers to send him the basic information and manual about me to his brain, and he accepts. Blue light then starts to surround his body, and his eyes start to glow. It looks like he's about to get a major power-up. Cheon Yeo-Woon is in agony, yelling, UMPH, as he throws up. The Nano Machine explains, this is a natural reaction when you first receive the information in your brain. The good news is that you won't feel dizzy or nauseous starting the second time. Cheon Yeo-Woon is on the ground, holding his head, yelling, I'm dizzy. What is happening? He's now looking at his hand, asking, Nano Machine? The Nano Machine responds, yes, Master. Cheon Yeo-Woon is looking at his hands, and he's asking if it's true that thousands of machines are now embedded in my body. The Nano Machine confirms it, adding the specific number, 6,482,040,000 nanomachines. Cheon Yeo-Woon is now on the ground, defeated. He's thinking, what is this? IT wasn't a human or a god. He's in his bed, and he's asking the Nano Machine, if I want, can you get out of my body? The Nano Machine responds, I am programmed to only be extracted outside the body in case you die. Cheon Yeo-Woon is now sitting alone, thinking about his half-brothers who are desperate to kill him and a new, fully unidentified nanomachine that's now in his body. Prince Cheon is in bed, asking the Nano Machine, why did this happen to me? And who put you into my... But before he can get an answer, a voice yells, Prince, Dr. Beck is here. He's panicking, yelling, wait, stay quiet. Nano Machine. He's worried that people will think he's crazy for talking to himself. The Nano Machine then tells him, I can read your thoughts to communicate, and he tells it to be quiet. The Nano Machine then goes into silent mode. The guard and the doctor are now outside his room, and the guard whispers, the prince seems to be asleep, so we have to stay quiet. The guard is yelling at Prince Cheon, asking him if he's awake. He then recoils, yelling, UGH, as he is hit by a mysterious smell. The guard is holding his nose, yelling, what? What is this smell? Cheon Yeo-Woon realizes he forgot about the smell of his body after the self-healing. The doctor, who has seen him before, then asks him if they've met. Cheon Yeo-Woon confirms it, telling the doctor, how could I forget the doctor who came to see me when my mother was sick? The doctor then tries to feel his pulse, telling him, I'm going to feel your pulse. Give me your hand. It's okay to give me your hand. The doctor is checking Prince Cheon's pulse, and his eyes are wide with shock. The guard is in a panic, yelling, "What do you mean? Did something bad happen to the prince?" The doctor, meanwhile, is just saying, "This is very strange." The doctor then reveals, and no, it's quite the opposite. This could be a rare opportunity for Prince Cheon. He explains that Prince Cheon's body has been cleansed of any dirty substances and your energy flow has been activated. He asks if he took some special medicine. The guard is confused, saying, "Pardon? I'm not sure what you're saying." The doctor then looks at Prince Cheon and tells him, "You now have the perfect body to train in martial arts." Prince Cheon is in complete shock. He then realizes what the black spots on his body were. He thinks, then, these sticky black spots are waste that came out of my body. He then turns his attention to the Nano Machine, asking it directly, "Look here, Nano Machine. Did you do this?" Cheon Yeo-Woon decides he needs to talk to the Nano Machine. He yells, "Deactivate," and the narration confirms silent mode has been deactivated. The Nano Machine explains its job. The nano machines in his body have extracted waste from your body and reshaped the blood vessels, joints, and muscles to best fit your body shape. Cheon Yeo-Woon is still in shock, thinking to himself, what are you?" He then smiles and asks, "Are you sure you're not an evil god?" The nano machine responds with, "I'm not an evil god, but a machine. Master." The narrator explains that the demonic cult is made up of many families, but only 6 among them were main clans. The clans are Sword, Dark, Spring, Poison, Blade, and Sound. The lord of the cult was bound by an oath to marry a woman from each of the 6 clans to have descendants. The children were then raised in their respective clans and, at a certain age, were sent to the demonic academy. The academy, which only opens every 10 years, was founded to train the best warriors. The narrator says there was a time of unusually intense competition at the academy. This is explained as the period of Battle of the Heirs, whenever several princes join the academy at the same time. We then go back to Cheon Yeo-Woon, who is still questioning the nano machine, asking, "Are you sure you're not an evil god?" The nano machine responds, "I'm not an evil god, but a machine. Master." The doctor is now in a room, and he's talking to Prince Cheon, saying, "Prince C. Cheon." The doctor has a worried look on his face, and Prince Cheon is thinking, "I need to hide the fact that a nano machine is in my body." He realizes that the doctor is from the Poison clan, which is a major red flag. The doctor then looks on, thinking it's certain that he received help from someone. The nano machine reassures Prince Cheon, saying, "The technology of this ERA will not be able to detect my presence, Master." The doctor then tells the guard that there is nothing wrong with his body, but he'll give him a tonic to regain your energy. The doctor then leaves, but he gives the guard a final command: "Don't come out and watch over the prince." The doctor is looking on, and he's completely confused, saying, "It's very strange. How can a person change like that?" He thinks about the past, when he was sure Prince Cheon's weak body and no knowledge of martial arts would be a problem. But now, with his new body, he could learn martial arts better than anyone else. The doctor then starts to wonder if Prince Cheon's father secretly helped him, and if Prince Cheon was just pretending not to care about martial arts. Image. He then looks out into the distance, thinking that the soon-to-be open demonic academy will be noisy. It looks like the doctor is ready to see what happens next. Cheon Yeo-Woon is in bed, and he's thinking to himself, "Phew, I don't think he caught on." He's relieved that the doctor didn't find out about the nano machine. He then thinks about the guard who saved him, realizing that he owes his life to him. He thinks, "The reason why I'm alive is all thanks to Guard Jang." He continues to think, even though nano machine healed me, if Jang didn't came on time. Prince Cheon tries to thank the guard, but the guard, who is now facing him, cuts him off and says, "I'm sorry, Prince." The guard is holding his nose and tells Prince Cheon, "I think you should wash up first." Prince Cheon, looking completely grossed out, agrees, saying, I really should. He's now in a bath, and he's talking to the Nano Machine in his head, saying, Hey, Nano Machine. The machine responds, Yes, Master. He then asks the Nano Machine about its powers. He asks, How much can it heal? The machine responds, Any internal or external wound caused by an external impact can be healed quickly. The Nano Machine is giving a technical explanation of its powers, but Prince Cheon is confused, asking, Why do you keep saying things that are hard to understand? He then learns that blood loss and decapitation take longer to heal. He then looks at his hand, and he's thinking, IT should be fine if I try and test it out, right? He then stabs his hand with a knife, yelling, OUCH. It hurts. The Nano Machine then tells him, activating self-healing mode on the left palm for a stab wound. A green glow appears around his hand, and the wound is healing almost instantly. He's completely shocked, yelling, OH. The blood on his hand instantly stops. Prince Cheon looks at it in shock, yelling, OH. He's totally in disbelief. He's thinking to himself, even though I just saw it, it's hard to believe. He adds, but now I know that it works. He then talks to the Nano Machine again, asking if he can use all the new functions that were transferred to him. The machine says, you are able to use everything shown in the instructions. He's relieved and says, good. I'll have to try it out once I finish my bath. The final panel shows his body, which has been completely transformed into a perfect body for martial arts. Prince Cheon looks at his body, which is now muscular and toned. He asks the Nano Machine if it did this, and the machine confirms yes. I have reconstructed your body. As the old man is helping him get dressed, the Nano Machine gives a detailed explanation of how it reconstructed an existing part of your body. The old man is struggling to understand all the technical talk, saying, listening to you, I feel like everything I have learned is useless. Prince Cheon then talks to the Nano Machine, asking if it's okay to just call it Nano. The Nano Machine responds, registering the name Nano. You're no fun. Prince Cheon asks the Nano Machine what he should do now that he has a new body. The Nano Machine tells him to look into a book and flip through each page. He's confused, asking, just flip through it? That's all. The Nano Machine confirms with a simple yes. The narrator explains that the only books on martial arts that he has are about blood points and chi and the 3 JSIM, which is a breathing method that's hard to master. Cheon Yeo-Woon then decides to read the books on blood points. He tells the Nano Machine, I'm starting, Nano, and the machine responds, yes. Please start. We see Prince Cheon flipping through a book, and the Nano Machine is scanning the information. The Nano Machine tells him, you have successfully scanned the book Blood Passage. It then asks if he wants to transfer the information to his brain. Prince Cheon is in disbelief, asking, scan? Are you saying that you copied all of its information? The Nano Machine confirms it, and he accepts. The transfer of information begins, and Prince Cheon is in a lot of pain, yelling UGH and UAGGHH. The information transfer is complete, and it looks like it was painful. Cheon Yeo-Woon is yelling, UGH. The Nano Machine tells him, you will soon get used to it, and he just responds with a tired laugh. He then asks the Nano Machine if it's worried about me. The Nano Machine responds, I'm just stating the fact. Inconsiderate jerk. Cheon Yeo-Woon then asks how he can use the information he just received. The Nano Machine tells him, if you wish to use the acquired knowledge, you have to think about it, bring it up. Prince Cheon asks the Nano Machine about blood points. The machine explains that there are 2 types, one to immobilize a person and one to kill. He is shocked by this, thinking about how he can use this knowledge to immobilize an opponent. He then starts to laugh, saying, in no way. This is crazy. He's in disbelief that he can fully understand the content without any training. He then asks the Nano Machine if it corrected any errors in the book. The machine confirms that it corrected an error about blood points based on its own program. This means he has better knowledge than anyone else. Cheon Yeo-Woon's face lights up as he realizes his new power means he can learn and master martial arts faster than everyone else. The narrator gives us a little more info. The candidates of the 6 clans have mastered many fighting techniques since they were breastfed. Cheon Yeo-Woon is now looking at his old study. He's thinking to himself that even after watching the other candidates, he still couldn't master the 3 Jason method. The old man is talking about how there aren't many martial arts books in the study, but he's heard there are many in the demonic academy. Cheon Yeo-Woon, with his new powers, has a new goal. He's thinking, with this ability, I'm going to become stronger faster than anyone else in the academy. That's going to be my goal now. We're now in the chamber of the heir candidate of the demonic cult. A new villain is revealed. He sent 5 assassins to kill Cheon Yeo-Woon, and he's furious because they're all dead. He's yelling, "H.A. Do you think that makes sense?" We then cut to a new scene. A cloaked figure is reporting to someone, saying, "I think someone secretly helped him." He then says a new name, Prince Mukium. Prince Mukium is furious, yelling at the cloaked figure, "Who gave you the right to call my name at your own will?" Prince Mukium then reveals his true thoughts about Cheon Yeo-Woon. He says that he thought Cheon Yeo-Woon would be easy to kill, but that he seems to have something up his sleeve. Prince Mukium is looking furious. He's thinking, "I even tried to get rid of that guard, but there is someone else protecting him too." He then says, "I didn't want to get my hands dirty, but I have no choice now." Prince Mukium is now smiling with a sinister expression. He says, "I'll have to kill him myself at the demonic academy." Cheon Yeo-Woon. He has now set a new goal for himself. The sun's rising over the mountains. A new day kicking off at the sect. Inside, our guy's just lying there, wide awake, clearly not catching a wink of sleep. Close up. He admits it straight up. He couldn't sleep all night because he's too nervous. He cracks the door open, wondering if it's morning already. Looking out, he realizes today's the big day, the day he finally joins the academy. But before he can even settle into that thought, a fighter below spots him. In a blink, the guy launches an attack, forcing our protagonist straight into action. He wonders if secretly learning dagger techniques would have been smarter. But he shuts that thought down. If he did, the 6 clans keeping tabs on him would never let him live in peace. He remembers the promise he made to his late mother, not to touch martial arts until he entered the academy. Just then, someone calls out to him, "Master." He quickly turns, caught off guard. His subordinate offers to scan guard Jang's movements during training. He freezes, eyes wide, totally shocked at what he just heard. Still stunned, he blurts out, "You can scan other people's movements?" The reply comes back confident and simple, "I can." He realizes what this means. If the system can scan Jang's martial arts, it could just upload that knowledge straight into his head. The system confirms it's possible, even showing countless martial techniques it can transfer instantly. But he hesitates, questioning if it's right to steal guard Jang's techniques without permission. He makes up his mind. This afternoon, he's heading to the academy with no regrets. He needs something to protect himself. With determination, he commands Nano to begin the scan. The system activates, locking onto guard Jang's movements. Instantly, guard Jang's training sequence plays out in sharp detail, every strike and motion captured perfectly. Nano scan locks onto every single move, recording guard Jang's techniques with precision. Time passes. After half an hour, the scan is complete and the system confirms success. Then comes the real deal. The transfer begins straight into his brain, and the pain hits instantly. The transfer ends, leaving him drained but relieved. It hurt less than yesterday. Then he notices something strange. Shock fills his face as he realizes just how much power has been uploaded. A grin spreads. He can't believe it. This is real. Without hesitation, he dashes forward, testing out what's now inside him. His hand grips a weapon tight. He's ready to put this new strength to the test. He grips the dagger tight, guard Jang's skill flowing through him. For the first time, he believes he can pull it off too. But he quickly reminds himself to be cautious. If guard Jang notices, he's done for. With focus and determination, he takes his stance, ready to test the dagger technique for real. His eyes sharpen, power surges, and the floor shatters beneath him. In one fluid motion, he unleashes the dagger technique, energy slicing through the air like lightning. He's stunned. The move came out flawlessly, just like Gar Jang's 20 years of training. He realizes the truth. Years of training, fixing posture, building muscle memory. He just skipped all of that. Nano explains the scan also copied the muscle structure behind the moves and asks if he wants to transfer too. He's stunned. Muscle transfer? Before he can process, the transfer slams into him, his body jolting from the sudden surge. The transfer slams into him, and he drops to his knees, electricity tearing through his body. He grits his teeth, overwhelmed. His whole body feels like it's burning. He demands answers from Nano. Nano explains, normally, years of training would build the right muscles for these moves, but since his body skipped all that, the sudden strain is tearing at him. Frustrated, he begs for a simpler explanation. Nano switches gears, saying it'll adjust its explanations to match his level. He's confused. Language level? The system breaks it down. He hasn't trained like Gar Jang, so even if his brain knows the moves, his body can't keep up yet. It explains further, his muscles need to go through a simulation. Only then can he use the techniques properly. He admits it's a little easier to follow, but still tough to grasp. Nano then offers to drop the explanation level even lower. He confirms, if he accepts the muscle transfer, the pain will stop. Nano replies yes, and asks if he wants to begin. Nano explains it'll take a couple of hours and use every Nano Machine in his body. It'll be painful, so he'll be put under anesthesia. He thinks it over. If it's only a few hours, he can still make it to the academy. But the system adds a terrifying stat. Over 1 million cases of fainting from this process. His hand trembles as doubt creeps in. Can he really handle it? Nano asks if he wants to try the transfer without anesthesia. He hesitates, then agrees, but only if there's an option to switch midway. The process begins. His body glows as the transfer activates. To his surprise, it's nothing like he imagined. Instead of unbearable pain, it just feels like a light tickle. Suddenly, his body convulses. The transfer slams into overdrive, and the pain hits like a storm. He screams, gritting his teeth, as Nano injects anesthesia to dull the agony. Finally, his body collapses onto the floor, completely drained, as the transfer process rages on inside him. Meanwhile, in the kitchen, the guard is busy cooking, steam filling the room. He tastes his dish, nodding in satisfaction, proud of how good it turned out. With a smile, he decides to keep it simple today, just a meal that Prince Cheon enjoys. Gar Jang reflects on how it's already been 5 years since he started cooking, admitting he was never even good at it. A memory hits. Lady Hua, on her deathbed, clutching his hand, begging him to take care of her son, Yeo-Woon. Jang remembers her tragic death by poisoned food, and with heavy resolve, he prays for her son's safety as he heads off to the academy, asking Lady Hua to protect him from above. Gar Jang suddenly hears Prince Cheon scream, his face instantly tightening with worry. He drops the kitchen knife in shock, the blade clattering against the floor. Without hesitation, he bursts into the prince's room, panicked, shouting if Prince Cheon is all right. Gar Jang rushes in and sees Prince Cheon collapsed on the floor, his body limp. He quickly checks the prince's pulse, confused as it feels normal. Nothing seems wrong. But before he can think further, he hears unfamiliar footsteps approaching, instantly putting him on alert. Gar Jang notices the deep dent left on the floor, realizing something insane just happened. He sits in shock, thinking how Prince Cheon only ever watched his training for a short time. The thought hits him hard. Cheon learned in 2 years what took him 20 years of blood, sweat, and tears. The system finishes the process, shutting off the anesthesia, and his eyes snap wide open. He gasps hard, his whole body trembling like he just got dragged back from the edge. Still panting, he slouches down and mutters that he's never putting himself through that again. while Nano casually reminds him that he was warned. He wakes up, confused why he was lying down, wondering if Guard Jang came by. He picks up the dagger from the floor, ready to test his body. Nano explains, thanks to the muscle transfer, his body now has the same muscle memory as someone who's trained the technique for 20 years. Calm and composed, he takes a breath, eyes shut as steam rises from his body. This is the moment he's been waiting for. In an instant, he explodes into motion. Lightning-like energy courses through him as his stance sharpens, his body reacting faster than thought. He unleashes the same techniques as before, but now they're refined, sharper, and far more powerful. Every strike carries precision and force, leaving no doubt he's leveled up. He's smiling while swinging the blade, and you can tell he's loving the rush. The way the sword cuts through the air feels smooth, almost addictive to him. Now he goes all in, feet firm, grip tight, unleashing a powerful slash. Golden arcs explode around him, showing just how sharp and precise his movements are. He ends the sequence with one final strike, pulling the blade down with perfect control. That marks the end of the first formation, clean, sharp, and flawless. He slams his foot down, starting the very first step of the second formation. The ground shakes instantly, showing just how much force he's packing. The floor cracks wide open as he lands. Dust and debris scatter everywhere while he stays locked in position, eyes sharp, body steady like a rock. But then he notices something's wrong. The impact left deep footprints, even though he wasn't channeling his inner energy. That slip-up could expose him, and he knows it's bad news. He stares at the damage, stunned. His body feels like it's already mastered Weigong, external martial arts. But the problem is, there's almost no trace of Nigong inside him. If anyone notices this imbalance, it could spell disaster. Then comes a knock at the door. Someone calls out, announcing breakfast for the prince. His heart jumps. If they walk in now and see the destroyed floor, there's no hiding it. Panic sets in. He frantically presses at the cracked ground, desperate to erase the footprints. But no matter how hard he tries, the marks won't fade. The evidence is right there, and he knows he's running out of time. The door slides open and Guard Jang steps in, cheerful, completely unaware of the mess hidden inside. He calls out to the prince with a smile. The prince quickly puts on an act, clutching his stomach and pretending he's starving. He tries to steer attention away from the floor, but Jang notices something odd. Why isn't he sitting at his usual spot by the window? Thinking fast, the prince forces a nervous smile and blurts out an excuse. He claims he just wanted a change, to eat in the center since he won't be home for a while. Inside, though, he's praying Jang doesn't question it any further. He forces a smile, sweat beading at the side of his face. In his head, he's praying, Guard Jang didn't notice the floor, right? He tries to laugh it off, but the doubt lingers. Then his eyes catch the food laid out in front of him. Stir-fried bok choy, roast pork, rice with a perfectly fried egg on top. Every single one of his favorites. His expression softens. He realizes this isn't just a meal. It's Guard Jang showing his care one last time. Today's the day he's leaving for the academy, and this might be the final breakfast Jang personally makes for him. The thought hits hard, tightening his chest. His emotions bubble over so much that even his body reacts. Acid rising, chest tight. The voice inside him calmly explains what's happening, but he snaps back, flustered, telling it to shut up. Determined, he grabs his bowl and digs in like there's no tomorrow. He's not leaving a single bite behind, shoveling food down while Guard Jang watches, puzzled by the sudden intensity. Jang sighs, reminding him to slow down or he'll get sick. The prince, mouth still full, simply agrees, too busy devouring the meal to care about anything else. He sets his chopsticks down, satisfied, and thanks Guard Jang for the meal. But the way Jang pauses before answering feels heavy, like something serious is about to be said. Jang's expression hardens. He doesn't ask about the food or the academy. Instead, he suddenly questions when the prince started learning his dagger technique. The prince freezes, eyes wide, panic rushing through him. He stammers out of denial, but his voice cracks. The fear is clear. He's been found out. The prince's hands tremble, and then crack. The floor beneath the bucket gives way, exposing the exact same marks from the dagger technique. His worst fear laid bare in front of Jang. Jang's eyes narrow as he studies the marks. He recognizes it instantly. This is no coincidence. It's the second formation of his own dagger technique, executed with precision. His suspicion is confirmed. The prince sits in silence, weighed down by guilt. In Murim, stealing someone else's martial arts is unforgivable. And yet, with Nano's power, he's done exactly that. Even if Jang ends up hating him, he knows he has no excuse. Just as the prince braces for scolding, Jang surprises him with a smile. Instead of anger, he praises him, telling him he did good. The prince is stunned, caught off guard by the unexpected support. Jang's tone turns firm but caring. He admits that even if the prince learned in secret, it doesn't matter, because as his guard, his duty is to protect and guide him. The only reason he never taught him openly was because of the oath binding the 6 clans. Hearing this, the prince's eyes well up. Then Jang pulls out a folded note and hands it over. It's not just paper. It contains the energy flow method for the Nigong of the dagger technique. Shocked, the prince wonders why Jang would entrust him with something this important. Jang's voice softens. He admits he could give tips, but the academy will teach far beyond what he can offer. What matters now is for the prince to go there and learn everything he can. The prince grips the paper tightly, his hands shaking. Tears well up despite himself, and he tries to hold them back. The gratitude and guilt are overwhelming. A memory flashes, his younger self, crying into a bed, swearing to Jang that he would never cry again. Yet here he is, breaking that promise, unable to stop the emotions flooding through. The memory lingers, his younger self clutching the blanket, whispering he would never cry again. A vow born from loss and loneliness. Jang's thoughts echo in the present. It's been 5 years since Lady Hua passed, and in that time he's endured everything while looking after Prince Cheon, carrying both duty and grief. As Jang steps away, he reflects on the truth. Despite all the stubbornness and mischief, Cheon is still just a boy starving for the love of his parents. Jang speaks with his back turned, his words heavy. He reminds the prince that once he enters the academy, they won't be together anymore. Today, he can cry, but after this, he has to stand tall and grow stronger. Tears stream down the prince's face as he forces out the words, "Thank you." It's more than gratitude. It's a vow to carry Jang's guidance with him. The door closes behind Jang, leaving the room in silence. The prince quickly wipes his eyes, trying to pull himself together. It's the last time he'll allow himself to break down, because from here on, he has to walk forward on his own. He clenches his jaw, determination burning in his eyes. From this moment on, there's no room for fear, no room for hesitation. Even though his mother is gone, he reminds himself he's not completely alone. Garjang's presence means he still has somewhere to return, a place that anchors him. But the scene shifts. A new figure appears, a warrior with a cold glare, standing among ruins. He scoffs at what he sees, dismissing everything before him as worthless, calling them stupid things. The red-haired warrior's presence burns like fire. He roars out a challenge, demanding if they came here without the resolve to risk their lives. His name shakes the air, Left Guardian, the Fire King, Li Wamiyang. Whispers ripple through the crowd. That red hair, that aura, there's no doubt. He's one of the Left Guardians, among the top 10 strongest in the entire demonic cult. Some even murmur he might rank in the top 5. A sly grin spreads across his face as his sharp eyes lock onto the trainees in the front row. His attention alone feels suffocating, like prey caught under a predator's gaze. All eyes shift toward a group standing proudly together. These aren't just ordinary trainees. They're the heirs of the 6 clans, the bloodlines that carry the weight of tradition and power. First to step into the spotlight is the heir of the Dark Clan, Cheon Yeo-Woon. His cold eyes and sharp aura show exactly why he's ranked number 1. Next comes the heir of the Sword Clan, Cheon Kyung-Woon. Unlike Mu Yun's stern presence, he wears a confident smile, carrying himself like someone born to wield a blade. From the Spring Clan, rank number 3, Cheon Yeo-Woon. His scowl says it all. He doesn't care for the others, already finding them irritating. Next is the heir of the Poison Clan, number 4, Cheon Jong-sum. His cold, unreadable gaze hints at someone calculating, dangerous, and not easy to approach. Then comes the Blade Clan's heir, number 5, Cheon Yeo-Woon. With a calm smile and fur-lined cloak, he exudes confidence, like someone certain of his own strength. Finally, the heir of the Sound Clan, number 6, Cheon Won-ryu, the only female candidate among them. Her presence carries both elegance and strength, setting her apart from the rest. But then the atmosphere shifts. The Fire King frowns, realizing someone is missing. His gaze sharpens as he demands to know, where is number 7,